everyone, thank you so much for joining me. For today's video, I would show you a beautiful demonstration of red poppies, which is a lovely flower in watercolor. And before starting painting these beautiful flowers, so we need to know about the watercolor a little bit and then start to just a quick drawing, and then after that start applying with mixing the paint and apply on a paper. So the information that we need about the watercolor is first of all we need to know about the paint. So watercolor, same as the other medium, has tube like this kind of paint, or it has like a teeny tiny peel like this kind of separately. I can bring them out. It's like a peel, and it comes by package, like different brand has it. This is like a package of this brand, so you can open it and just use it. And just wet the paper, wet the paint with a spray of water, and then make it fresh for use it in our painting. But the other kind of paint that we have is a tube, same as oil. We can buy this kind of thing separately and have a separate palette like that. This is a ceramic one. We can have a porcelain, we can have ceramic and plastic. All this kind of palette is good, but sometimes these are a little bit hard to work with. You need to be careful with those. But there is no space for mixing the paint. It just has, the small one has like just a place for adding the paint on each part of this petal flowers. But this package of the palette, actually this is a plastic one. It has a space. This for space is good for mixing the paint. So I add the paint around this. This has a space for the adding the paint from the tube. And then the four side to here and to there is good for mixing our paint and make the new one. And then the good things about the watercolor paint is it's not same as acrylic. So with acrylic, you just need to work with that and then finish. So put the palette in a garbage, or you cannot use that paint after that because it gets dry and it's hard to use it again. But watercolor, you can keep it like this, same as if you see here, I'm not cleaning this part of my palette, even the paint here ready, and just adding the spray of water on top, and that's it. It's a fresh to use it again. So like this, add, add the spray of water and make it ready to use again. So this is about that paint and palette. Now it's the brush. We have many different brands of the brushes. So even the shape, we have round brush like those. We have filbert brush, that's a curvy one. We have flat brush, angled brush, ringer brush, and lots of different kind of shape of brush we have, or fan brush or something. But the difference between watercolor brushes and the oil or acrylic brushes is the length of the watercolor brushes, which is shorter, because we take the brush from like this, like a pencil, because we work on a flat surface or a little angle. We are not working in front of the easel because the water can fall down and it's not easy to control it. Most of the artists work on a flat surface of the table or a little bit angled. Because of that, the brushes for watercolor is shorter. And the other things is I really happy to work with just a round brush, not different kind of shape. But it depends on each artist has their own style, has their own technique, and actually the things that they're interested. So I feel really happy with the round brush. I can do everything with those, so I'm happy with that. And the other things which is so important beside paint brush and palette is the paper. So we have again different brands in watercolor paper. You can try most of them that feel which one is comfortable for you, which one is more your interest. The best one is Arches, I think. I'm pretty happy with that. We have Winsor Newton, we have Canson, lots of brand, but this is like a Fontaine. I think this is the first time I use this one. And the other things which is important about the paper is a weight of the paper and how much cotton it has, and the other is the texture of the paper. So this paper shows that it has 100% cotton. This is really good because we have 25%, 50%, 100. In 25% cotton, the paper dry faster, but in 100, it gives you more relaxation and time not to dry fast, and you don't need to be rushed to finish your painting. Mm, 25, if you have it, would be okay. Doesn't say. Depend on the technique of the painting. If you go with wet on wet, it's better to go with 100% cotton. But today's painting is wet on dry technique. So it means that we use wet paint on top of the dry paper. So we don't need to be worried about the, actually, very fast the paper gets dry. The other things is the gram that I mentioned, the weight of the paper, which is 140 pound or 300 grams, which is the good weight for the paper. We have less than this, which is really narrow and delicate. And we have more than that weight, which is really thick. Sometimes it's challenging to work on a thick paper. And then the texture. So this is cold press. Cold press has a lovely texture on top. We have hot press that's so smooth and soft, and rough, which is really heavy texture. It has really heavy texture. So you can try different kind of paper to see which one is your interest. I'm pretty happy with cold press, 140 pound, and 100% cotton. So I would try this brand because to see if how it works actually. But I love Arches. For sure, you pay more for that, but it's worth it because of the quality that it has. The other things, okay. So I prefer not to do a lots of drawing in my watercolor painting. It depends. Some artists like to see the dark color of the pencil, but some doesn't because it's watercolor is a transparent painting, so it shouldn't be really dark color to use it. If I show the painting that I choose, it's start from the light layers and then move to the darker tone. It's totally different from acrylic or oil, because with acrylic and oil we start from the darker tone and then we move to the lighter tone, but the watercolor is not the same. So we start from the light layers and then gradually add the darker tone. So for this one, I choose a little bit drawing to show everybody how it works, the place of the flowers. But most of the time, I prefer not to do. And we need a glass of water to clean our brushes, rag or napkin, and a spray of water. Then, if you have everything around, so let's start our beautiful painting. Okay, so for this beautiful flowers, I think we have six poppies in our paper, in our painting. So three of them is a little bit larger than the other three. I choose first of all the place of each, where I would like to place them. And then I can mention about the oval shape, or one by one shape it with a pedal. But for this one, I prefer to start just to place it with the oval shape. I go with one big oval like that. And just let me. Okay, so I draw the oval here. And for the next one, where we need to go. Okay, this is, let me just erase it because I prefer to have a little space for the leaves as well. And about the size of the paper, actually, this paper or this pad of watercolor is 7 by 10 inches. You can work on any kind of paper and size that you like. So a little bit of space I would like to pressure to the center and have a little empty spot around for the leaves and the decoration flowers. So I draw one oval shape here. It's a pretty light, but I would go with the details more on it. And a little bit oval here. This toward that way, the other wall toward this way, left and right. So when I bring it closer, you can see. Actually, it's not really important to um, focus on drawing part, but just would like to mention about it. And one oval here, and one oval there. One of them connect here, and one like this. And just mention about this simple oval shape. That's it. I'm not doing any details of the flowers. Okay. So, and I prefer not to do that. I prefer to do it with paint, which is much more interesting than drawing. So a little bit make it lighter because they are pretty dark for the watercolor, which is transparent supposed to be. I don't want to work my watercolor same as oil or acrylic paint. Okay, and now I'm going to start apply with the paint. So with the brush, first of all, I would go with lighter tone that I have on my painting. In this flower, especially the red poppies, we have orangey yellowy tone with the pinky and red. So in watercolor, we don't have any white color to mix with. We have the water to mix and make the color lighter. So if you bring the paint like here, apply more drop of water, you can make it lighter. If you go with just the pure paint with that, it's just really, with no water, it's get darker. So I'm not just jump on a paper with this dark tone. So I would go with lighter tone, which is a little yellowy orangey, yellowy orangey. I can do here this yellowy orangey, and I already have the red, so you can go with the red as well on this palette and add a drop of water to make it runny, which is lovely. Turn your hair off brush on this and then start shaping with, we can do drawing actually with the brush and paint, and that's it. We don't need to do it with pencil, but I go with the oval shape to have an idea where is the place of each big shape of petal poppies. So I'm doing that. I try to continue to adding each petal with watery and juicy color, separate each part like that. And then this side is the darkness of the center, and I'm doing this petal here. You can add some space in between, which is interesting, and do one other petal with this, and then here. Okay, that's one of them. I don't let it dry because I would still work on it like that. The reason I don't want to let it dry because it's wet. It's really nice wet surface has, so I would finish it as much as I can because in watercolor less is more. So it's better to work one time on a piece and then let it finish. It's okay, you can come back again, but better not to do a lot. So with this one, which is more darker, I'm coming on the edge of here. The good things about the 100% cutter is this one. You see, still it's wet and it's not dry so fast. So when it's still wet, you can bring the darker color on top, and then here they blend together very gently. It doesn't need to be worried about it, and there is no hard edge create here. We need to be really smooth, see the smooth surface and the nice and clean um, surface on around the edge. And even I can go with the pure paint. You see here how much it get darker when you go with the pure paint. Then lay down the brush like that, still here wet. They can mix just a bit together. Even I go with a little bit wet, sorry, dry brush, and then I would bring it at the bottom part of the petal. Here is a start to get dry, so I'm going to clean my brush, control the amount of water to make it less, and then continue to bring it higher and disappear this hard edge in between. Even here I can just go with the orangey tone. Always have a napkin when you work with a watercolor. And that's it. I have enough yellow, I have red, dark red, and that's it. For the darkness of the center, it's not a good time to do right now, because when I add the black on the center, it's a spread everywhere and make all the other petal very dark. So I'm okay to keep it like that. So if we can move on the other one, which is this one. The shape is look like a ball, like that. And then inside, outside is darker, inside is darker, but the petal from that side and this side is a little lighter. So the lighter one I prefer to be orangey tone, or maybe add a little bit yellow in it. And the first layer, which is drawing part on a paper, is a little watery like that. So now I can start with drawing. So I move with the tip of brush, shape this side of the petal, and then the second one like that. Try to use enough water to help it dry late and give you time, not dry fast. And then design this part of the petal. Try to make it in a water, and then connect this three together. Even you can add some white in between would be fine. So I'm not moving the other side because I would finish here. So I'm choosing the red a little bit, not adding a lots of water, just enough water into the paint. And then I can use it here. Just add a red color here. Now let it move on the inside the orange. You can control with the brush to help it move a little bit higher, darker on the bottom part. The tip of brush can control the shape and the design of each part of the petal. And then, like that. I'm happy. When you're happy with the part, you can leave it to get dry and move on for the next part. For some teeny tiny details, anytime you can come back for fixing those. So I again make the orange color. And try to keep some space because still this edge is wet. I don't want to go through that. And I'm coming to shape the other or drawing the other part of the flower. If I imagine this is the center, here the front side, and the other part is the inside of the petal, like here of the flower, I mean. And I keep the white space, separately design the side of the petal. For the details, when you are closer to the flower, to this side, try to add with the tip of brush. And you can choose the size of brush, which is matched with your painting and the size of your flower. I'm going with this number 6. The brand is Curious, but all the brands actually should be okay. And this is number 8, which is a bigger one, and it's a Princeton. I really love the Princeton, and you can try the other brand too. Doesn't matter, synthetic, real, anything, you can go with that. So we finished with the orange. Now I don't want to let it dry. I move on with the red color. Now this time I go from in to out. So gently I'm coming closer to this petal, not to go here to let it mix together because I don't want them mixed together. Very gently, even the white color be visible would be fine. That's one technique in watercolor. And then you can color the rest of this petal with yellow, sorry, with red. Clean the brush with napkin, wipe it here, and if there is any hard edge create here, you can let it disappear like that. Okay, so I'm happy with it. Leave it get dry. Let me bring it closer. Then you can see they are so transparent, very clean, clear, and nice. There's no black color in it. Because of that, I'm not a fan of drawing for watercolor. It's okay, you can do actually we are doing the drawing but with paint. So the other one, I make my orange a little bit darker with mixing red and yellow, because you know that yellow and red give us orange color when they mix together. Yellow and blue give us green, and blue with red give us purple. These are a primary color. Okay, so for this one I can move on with more pinky tone for this one. So first of all, with the orange, I start from moving the petal from center out. You see, I just try to design the drawing shape, and I'm going to add more pinky color here. And adding more water in it to make it exactly pinky tone. The pink color is what we call it, it's a rose, permanent rose, or alizarin crimson. And then you can draw other petal like this. I try to make a little bit this side of the center be more dark, so cover with both sides with the lovely petal. And then connect them together. So I don't want to let it dry this time again. Moving with darker pink, so I'm using less water, more pigment to make it darker. Randomly add some shadow part, a little bit from the side, a little bit here, and closer to the center I'm going with the shadow and darkness. And try to make it dark. Sometimes happen like here, when you add the dark color, the light color is completely dry and the hard edge creates. So how we can disappear this hard edge? Like that. This is look like a line in between. It's not fade same as the rest. So I try to keep my brush a little wet, control the amount of water, not much, and then from out come in and let it mix in together. From dark, from light come inside, and then clean it with napkin again, back to that. You can lift up some paint just in case if you like that. When it's wet, with a clean brush, come in and try to move that part which is really watery. Try to come in and then clean it with napkin like this. This is one technique to lift up the paint. And now you see here I lift up the paint, I lift up the paint from here so it get lighter. The center is okay to be white. I would keep it for the dark color later to add for the center of my petal. Again, for the fourth one, I start with the orange. I'm going to draw the shape of the big petal from behind, and I'm using more water in it, not let it dry very fast, and design the details of the shape of petal. And then I move on with this side to shape it, and then this side. Even when you look at the flowers like poppies or any flower, you can have a big shape details drawing in your mind and then apply the whole shape on your paper, and then little by little add some details around to shape it more. So this is good. The center I go with the dark color. Now I move on for the reddish color. Start from center here and let it's already move and spread a little. I can show you. It's already spread. But I don't want to let the orange be more dark. They be more light and the red really dark. I would mix them together, but try not to disappear this orange. I like that to be visible as well. So let it move again and try to bring this time red into the orange. From that one, I move from the light to the dark, but from this one, I move from the dark to the light. It's completely uh, different. So this is too dark. I would keep this darkness. I keep the paper a little more wet. Try to disappear. Clean the brush. I don't need to have any red in it. From orange part, I'm coming back. From the orange, come to the red. From the orange, come to the red. Even you can just come like that to make it You see, I just have a napkin on my hand and always clean it with napkin. That's it. I'm happy with this. I let it dry to make this center a little darker. I can show you how you can make it darker right now even. Let me bring the smaller brush, teeny tiny pointy brush. This one. I'm going to use the grayish color here. This is a grayish color. A little bit with the tip of brush. It's still wet. I prefer not to come down. I prefer to use, oh, this is not a purple. It's a purple. This is maybe, oh no, that's a green one. Oh, here. Here is the black. That's perfect for the gray. With the tip of brush, little by little, add more details. Let them blend and move higher. I'm not making more than this grow because it's already moving to the red color like that. And that's it. Even you can lift up if you see there is a lot. You can clean the brush. When it's wet, it's easy to lift up. From out, come in. Yeah, like that. Now for the other one, which is dry, I can start from this side very gently. Bring this dark color, come in, design and draw the shape of the side. And one by one, bring it a little bit higher. And I don't want to keep it like that very dark. I would go to lift up some part. When you lift up, this light and dark mix together and give us a nice view of even the shadow part on the center. Like that. We can do the same for the top part. Make sure not all of them be close together. It's okay. It's okay to keep it a little bit spread. Some of them bring it higher, some lower, which is interesting. More like this. This is a really small brush and it's good to use the tip of that brush. And for this too, I would bring it a little, some of them higher because of the puppies, which is the center is a little bit spread higher, come up, not all in the same size. So that's it. I would add 2 more flowers. I am not finishing with just 4. I would go with one connect exactly to this and here too. So again, I'm coming back with the orange. I try to make this one smaller. I don't want to go really big size. And try to show half of it is behind this one. So this flower is nice to call it under the other flowers is. I'm not keep the orange a lot be visible because the puppy is supposed to be red. But I would go with the feeling of orange, which is the lighter tone for it, and try to make this orange be visible and colorful in my petal of flowers, which is nice. And then even I can cover it with more. Always nice to make it colorful like that. And even darker tone. With this kind of design, you can put drop of water in it and then bring even here some dots spread, help this um, dark spread everywhere because it's wet, and just spread it like that. So we have all this for a little bit more orangey reddish, but this one is more pinky. I would have a balance in my painting, so for this one I would go with the pinky tone. I'm going to add a drop of water in my reddish pinkish color, which is permanent rose. Design again, drawing like that. And then make a little darker tone here on the bottom part. Pure paint give me a darker tone. Because of that, I would bring pure paint. I don't mean that we need to mix with any dark color. Especially for the dark coloring flowers, we are not using black at all. Maybe we use the purpley tone or depend on the color of flowers. So the other side, like that, and I try to okay. So again, close to the center, I try to add a little darker color, even on a red. And then add some black color in it. Like that. Quick drawing like this. And we are done with our beautiful flowers. We can add the leaves around and some more details. And then if we need to add some more darker tone, after everything is dry, then it's a good time to do that. Okay, so our flower is completely dry and ready for the background color to add. We are not actually watercolor. It's okay if you like to cover whole this paper with one color and same as oil work on it or acrylic. But most of the time, because of the quality of the paint and the transparency that watercolor has, it's nice to keep the paper be white as a paper and just move a little bit like spread and connect it to the actually white of the paper. So I would go to do something like that. So I prefer to let a little bit yellow ochre color, just a little watery, juicy color, really watery color. Just play with the light tone colors like this and come spread out. That's it. So it's a good effect of the paint, of the background color like this. Really, really transparent, really juicy, and it's watery. And then I would go with the green color in between here. So I'm not adding the background. I'm just adding a little bit effect of the yellowy, which is with yellow ochre. Close to the flower, try not to go inside of the flower, and you see they spread it like a design to color it like that. And it's not really dark color. You can come to the center, but doesn't matter because the center covered with the greeny tone. So I'm not leaving like that because the top part is yellowy, the bottom part needs some balance in it. So I just go a little here. You see, I just added lots of drop of water in it and just some effect of yellow filling. Make sure to be really juicy and just touch of some feeling of yellowy here too. And that's it. Then we don't need to wait get dry. We can just come on top and add the green color of the leaves. So I'm going to start with the lighter green, which is this green, to bring on the center. Watercolor, same as other medium. If you like to make it darker, the green, you can go with the blue. You can mix some color together And you see it's so runny. The first layer always better to be runny. And then start from with the tip of brush from somewhere like that, go like this, and add some leaves around. You see, because of the yellowy part, which is wet, they spread, but some other part, which is here, dry, and the white of the paper, they're not spread and create like a line. And that's the good things about watercolor. Even when you copy from your painting, always is unique because it's just happened with it's like happened with the accident. Sometimes the water move the paint and do something new, so you don't even can copy from yourself too. I add a little bit blue here, adding some stem, the green color. You can use different green actually. I like this olive green that I have here. Maybe, yeah, that's a nice one. Or maybe this one. I have different palette. I can use different paint like that. But it's always better to start with lighter tone. I prefer to go with lighter tone. Make sure when you're closer to the flower, be a little bit accurate, not to go inside the petals. With the tip of brush, I try to cover between the flowers a little bit more greeny tone. Even doesn't need to be specifically the leaves or anything, just the green. Okay. And then you can check that when it's get dry. Again, add some details on it. You can do some splash on top. I just try to use some part of the tip of brush to design a little bit like that. You see, it's very nice, but still wet. We can add a darker tone later on. I prefer not to go just with the green. I prefer to have light, dark, and even what we say, blue as well in it. So I go with just a cobalt blue, which is a nice blue in our painting. Spread some leaves around the flowers, even some more bluey here randomly for a greeny effect. More blue. Okay. Now clean the brush. I would go with a little bit warm green, light green here. And most of the time for the details that you can cover somewhere closer to the part, you can use the tip of brush. Pay attention that when you have light green on top, you have to spread it because of the eye balance. We need to have a balance to catch the eye, not bothering the eyes. Okay, so and even you can add a splash of drop of water here and there. Okay, and then clean the brush. I would go with some, I covered a lot with this, so I need to bring it back. I need to, you see here, I just lift up some of this darker color with a clean brush. I don't want to be really busy here. You cannot lift up completely, but a little bit is fine, you can. Now, I'm going to add some more details with purpley bluey tone. I would go here with this bluey purple color. Okay. Especially this one, it's like a circly part. Just adding curvy details. And then the splash on top of it. I would let it dry because it looks like a fade surface here. And then add the darker color on one side. And I would go a little bit here, oval shape. Even you can come on top of the leaves that or details that you already have and make some more things on it. To there. I forgot to keep here white, actually. I would lift up. The good things about the 100% cotton paper, it's still wet, so I can lift up some paint. I don't recommend you do that if you work on a 25% cotton because it's not possible. Little blue in it. Just a little shadow. And that one. Let's show this kind of flowers between the green leaves. And here as well, the oval shape and the design of the tip. And then the second one, I would go a little bit oval shape here. You don't have to add this, but I would play with the colors, not just go with the red and green. I would go with some more details around and make some other flowers, cover it and make it interesting. So I keep it be like that to get completely dry, and then let me see what we can do again for the rest. Just try to clean it here. Most of the watercolor painting is accident at that moment, so you can see what you can make with this at that moment. Pretty happy with it. Now we can go a little bit darker blue here because it shows that it get a little dry. Then I can check the filling of blue where we need to add. Maybe we have already here, maybe here. just like that. Some splash. And then I wait get dry because I would add more dark color and flowers and the leaves. Okay, now we are going to add a little bit darker color, adding everywhere that we need for the finishing touch, because in watercolor less is more. So I'm going to start adding some spray because during the time the paint gets dry. So I choose the red color first, and I'm going to add some really darker tone. Try to use a little more pigment, not very much water in it. And even the hardest create for sure, but with the clean water even you can fade to the top part. And with this technique, make a little bit dark color happen in your painting. As I mentioned, always have a napkin to control it. Okay, like that. And even to the center, I would go a little bit darker. I add some drop of water. And then add the edge. I don't want to cover from the top. Because of that, I go with a clean brush, bring it from the top to the bottom to let it a little bit fade. Not for all of them, but some is nice to have a little bit dark color to add. With the tip of brush, very clean, come inside, and try to disappear it. And for the other here, and then disappear like that. So that red inside is fine. I'm going to add some more red color here. Because after it gets completely dry, it's fade and then go to background and behind the background. Because of that, we need to add a little bit darkness later. To play with the, you can even bring a little water in it and play with the water and paint. So you don't have to be really accurate in watercolor. You can just add some water and make it play with it. And it's more interesting actually, you see? It's more interesting. Just I add some zigzaggy line and then drop of water. I don't try to be perfect in it, and then that's it. It gives me a nice effect of color. A drop of water. I try to not to lose the beautiful light tone disappear. I don't want it to do that. So that's it. For the flowers, it's enough. But for the greens, I'm happy with the light tones, but I'm not happy. I need the darker tone as well to bring. So I'm choosing a little bit green here. Maybe some darker browny color to mix. To help it get a little darkness. Okay. and closer to flowers. So even very gently, doesn't need to be watery. Come a little darker tone, not to cover everything, but close to petals, and design it as a random leaves. And that's it. Make sure to not to lose the shape of petals, like that. Even here, I would go a little bit with some shape of leaves like that. And try to add for here. You can show some leaves come on top of each other if you like. I can go with like this, kind of leaves come here out. A little bit blue color effect I like to have. It's fine, I don't want to make it really busy. And just a little feeling of blue color for this. Of course, it's a purple more, but nice to have some bluey feeling. Uh, and for this too as well, they're hiding somewhere. Okay, so we are fine with it. I love to add some splash with different colors spread everywhere, which is nice. And yeah, a little bit shadow dark from some part of the flowers, especially smaller brush even can help us for that. Like this. I'm doing a little bit with the teeny tiny brush. We can just cover a little bit around the flowers and then add some leaves that cover everywhere. If you don't like to be really light, the center especially, I mean, it's better to have a little darkness, not everywhere, just the center would be fine. And the rest is okay to be lighter. Okay, that's it. I think we're fine. Okay, a little blue. When I finish, I just think about, okay, I had to do this or do that. Sometimes I would go a little bit more. So it's better always not in watercolor not to overwork because it's not good to do overwork. Okay, it's fine. We are done actually with the beautiful tulip flowers in watercolor. It's nice and enjoyable, lovely. It depends. Sometimes you can add more yellowy tone. Sometimes you can add more bluey or greeny tone in your background. But I would love like this kind of things. It's more make me uh, interesting for me. Okay, so hope you enjoy it and thank you so much again for joining me and hope to see you for another lovely painting. Yeah, happy painting!